In today's episode, I sit down with a talented ballroom dancer that has been on shows like So You Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars. So let's move to the dance floor. Ciao, I'm Anna Harsh, professional dancer, author, and host of the Dance Floor podcast, the podcast that offers you advice, tips, and unique ways to find those life lessons that improve our lives. So grab your dance shoes and join me on the dance floor. Hey, listeners, I have a really special guest today, Miss Stephani Sosa. Welcome to the dance floor.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to being on this podcast.
Oh my goodness, Stephani, I know I've been a fan of yours, and the dance floor is not new to either one of us. Do you remember the first time you stepped onto a dance floor?
Oh gosh. I would say the very first time I ever stepped onto the dance floor, I was actually around 5 years old, and my mom had put me into what's called Mexican folklore dance, like folklorico, and I was in love with it. That was probably, I don't remember my feelings or emotions, but I do have a picture on it's my screensaver. It's the cutest picture. It's me in the little outfit, and after that moment, I told my mom I want to be a professional dancer because I was also singing and acting at the time as well. And me and Ezra did it together, and that it was there's cute little videos, and it was my first time I ever stepped on the floor.
That's when you fell in love with it. Isn't that weird how it just sparks? That moment that it just sparks for you. And for me, it's my whole body was yes, this is where I want to be forever.
Yeah, I just felt natural. It's the easiest thing I'd ever done. Especially as a young kid, it just felt so it just flowed. It was this makes sense. This is what I want.
And that's when like you said, when it's really easy and it comes natural to you. And when your whole body says yes, it's time to say yes to the dance floor,
yes,
right?
Yes. Listen to your intuition.
For sure. And now I know you mentioned your brother, right? That's your brother? And you guys are close in age, correct?
Yeah. So my brother's Ezra Sosa, and he is 14 months younger than me. So we're pretty much Irish twins. Yeah. So I don't know if that's correct. People say Irish twins, but yeah. So we're 14 months apart, and we pretty much grew up doing everything together.
I have 2 nephews that are really close in age like that too. And they don't look exactly alike, but they do have similar likes and expressions and that sort of thing. And I know growing up, I have an older brother. He's 7 years older than me. But when we were younger, we did tour like you guys did. We performed together. And I know that sometimes it can be, a little crazy when you're performing with family.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's so beautiful. But yeah, it definitely can be crazy because you're with each other all the time. But I think it's so beautiful that you get to create art together, Yeah. It's in the blood. So it makes sense that it's siblings are doing things together.
Yeah, it does make sense. For us, it was in our DNA. He's a musician and I love dance, obviously. So we went well together and performed everywhere on tour, for Christmas parties and all kinds of events and festivals. And we still do to this day. Every now and then we'll get together, and he has his own band and I have my own company. So we do tour every once in a while. We'll link up and do a show together. So it is still fun.
Did you ever, when you were young, perform for your family functions, do little showcases?
That was weekly, Stephani.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Ezra did the same thing, but we were the era of High School Musical and Camp Rock and Happy Feet. So we would just there's videos of us singing, dancing for our cousins, and we would always do it. So I just wondered if it was multiple siblings of the same thing.
Absolutely. If we had a Sunday dinner at my Nona's house, my grandmother's house, it was well, after dinner, okay, let's go, let's sing, let's dance. Yeah. I think that's what we all do culturally, no matter what background you come from. I mean, this as well as I do, that family's that's your bread and butter, right? And if you can't perform in front of family because they're going to tell you whether it was good or bad, aren't they?
No, it's so real. The biggest testament of whether you should make it a career is if you do it in front of your family. But also sometimes you don't listen. You don't have to always listen to your family members if they're not supportive. But yes.
True. I agree. Because if you have that passion like you do, you can see it in your dancing that you are so fiery and so passionate about movement. That is just, it's what you should be doing. And you're right. You have to do what you're called to do. And so, here you are. So what a successful career so far. And I know that you're leading up to something else soon.
Yes.
But can you give some advice to the next generation? Like, how did you get to this point, this high career point?
That's a good question. Well, I have like multiple things I could talk about, but I would say like my biggest thing is like just to keep going because I feel like especially nowadays, we live in a generation where instant gratification and is very much like it's an issue, like not an issue, but a lot of people like want it now. And like if they don't get it within like a certain amount of time, that they'll give up. And I promise, like I am a testament to it. Like if you work hard and you never give up and you keep going, like it will happen when it's supposed to happen in the most divine, beautiful time. And I think my advice to like young generation is just to like don't focus on like the end result. Just like enjoy the process of it because you will get there. Like it will happen if you stay the course and you work hard and you're a good person. It will happen for you when it's meant to happen for you. The universe is beautiful in that way that it will provide that, but you cannot give up and you cannot focus on the end result. And you just have to be so present and just enjoy the journey. Cause I look back at like little me when I was like wanting it so bad and it just wasn't the right time. And I just wish I would have sat in that more and enjoyed it. And like, I miss those days at the studio where I was with my like colleagues and like dancing, and I just miss those moments a lot because now that I have it, I'm like, oh wow, like so just like really just stay in the now and like work hard because it's gonna happen. I know everyone tells you like not everyone may know, but like if you stay the course, it's gonna happen.
It will happen. And you do need to celebrate those small wins along the way. Even if it's like, hey, I had a really good turning day today, or I nailed that leap on the stage. You
Yeah.
want to celebrate those small wins. You're right, Stephanie. Like, we need to celebrate each day that we can dance because you don't know what's happening the next time you get to do something on the stage.
And also being like, I think my biggest thing that I've learned is being okay with failure. And the quickest way to success, I read this in a book, is failing. Like the more you fail, just know like the quicker it is you're going to get to where you need to be. So now when I mess up, when I don't, for example, I'm an actress, when I don't say my lines right, or if I mess up choreography on stage, or I don't beat myself up, because the more you mess up, the more you're going to get to where you need to be, because you need to mess up to learn and to grow and to be the version of yourself that's where you need to be. And it makes me sad when I like teach kids and they get so hard on themselves for messing up. I'm like, no, it's okay. You want to mess up because you want to learn from it. You want to grow. So yeah.
Yeah, that's how you learn and grow. Like you said, that's how you learn how it can be better.
Yeah.
If you don't mess up, how are you going to progress forward?
Yeah. And everyone's so afraid to mess up. I'm like, no, like if I'm ever your teacher, I want you to mess up, not like purposely, but like I embrace it, because that's where you figure things out is now, and like the training processes, and like even competing. If you mess up, it's okay. It's normal. So yeah. I think everyone is so focused on looking perfect all the time, which is very unrealistic.
I just had an episode about embracing imperfection with a guest. Wow. And you're right. We talked all about, messing up and picking yourself up and putting yourself back together and, putting that smile back onto the dance floor, because it means you've worked hard. I don't think people realize how many hours and time we spend before we even touch the stage, before we go to dress rehearsal. Like, there is thousands of hours and time and even mental rehearsal. I don't know about you, but I do go through my routine in my head. Do you do that before you perform? Do you go through a ritual?
Yeah, I definitely especially to save my body. If I know the show, I'll like go through the entire show, make sure that I remember all the notes that I was given, like during whatever rehearsal or tech or whatever it is that I had, especially for TV film. Like I make sure, because if you mess up on TV film, it's forever.
It's forever, for
so
sure.
I make sure I know exactly what I need to know. But yeah, I definitely do more mental now that like my body is really good at picking up choreography now that I've like trained in that. But it wasn't always that way. I had to do both. But now that I'm older, but yeah, so it's mental and physical for sure.
Oh my gosh, the mental and physicality of every dancer. We're like superheroes in a small way, aren't we?
Yeah, we really are.
One passion, one mission: to preserve authentic Italian dance before it disappears. Dancer and author Anna Harsh brings you her 2 memoirs, La Danza and The Italian Dance Quest. Learn traditional dances from various regions of Italy. Read heartwarming stories of family traditions. These books will inspire you to preserve your traditions. Unlock the beauty of Italian dances and pick up your copies today. Visit annaharsh.com for more information. I've always taken ballroom classes, whether it's cha-cha or tango. I'm just in love with it. And I always talk about this for folk dances, like you mentioned folkloric dance earlier. And I teach a lot of folk dance in the Italian genre.
That's amazing.
What qualities do you think makes that perfect partner or really good partner in ballroom?
In ballroom and Latin ballroom, I would say someone that I can trust. So somebody that I know knows what they're doing, and also I think somebody that is kind and patient, because whenever you're doing Latin ballroom, you can get into a lot of like arguments, especially in the process of like choreography and connection. Like I think someone that you can trust and someone's patient, someone who's strong. I like a partner that's very strong on their own, because not only do you have to like lift yourself up, but also a partner. You're the leader of the partnership. So someone that I can trust and someone that's strong. That
Yeah.
those are the qualities I like.
Yeah, for sure. I talk about that in one of my books, like being strong, being brave, being vulnerable on stage
Mhm.
and looking that partner in the eye. I know for folk dance, it's one of the life lessons that we learn is that you have to look at someone to dance with them, don't you?
Yeah.
You have to have that connection with each other so that you can make a connection with the audience. And that's why we like watching dance because we feel that emotion or that story that we're telling on stage. And it's so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, tell us about your new project that you're coming up with.
Oh, yeah. So I'm working on, and I don't want to say it wrong because on TikTok right now, people are like getting mad at me for being so I think it's, what would you consider? Because you're in the theater. It'd
Yeah,
be
it's a
like
musical, right?
it's like a pre-Broadway, off-Broadway show, or I don't know
Yeah.
how to explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're
So
hoping that it'll go to Broadway. I could see that. Let's hope
yeah.
for it. It's on my vision board for you.
Yes. Thank you. I love that. So yeah, it's called Take the Lead. It's a musical, a new musical. It's making its world premiere April 6th at the Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey. And it's my first time ever really like diving into musical theater. I did the workshops all last year, like right before I did Dancing with the Stars. I was here in January, and then I also was here in August creating the show, because I didn't know, but theater is a whole different world. Whenever you're creating a new show, you go through a lot of different workshops to create the show, and then once it's on its feet, then it like does a test run, and it's a whole process. But I've been a part of it from the very beginning, which I'm like so honored, because I feel like the story itself is something that I relate to. So I feel like the universe or God or kind of put me in this position to like for this opportunity to like not only further my career but grow in so many different ways, because I'm like seen in this musical like so heavily. So yeah.
Awesome. So you've seen its evolution, and that's really unique. And now that it has legs, it's about to walk out onto the stage
Yes.
and take the lead for real. I fell in love with the movie with Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes to all of this. So it has ballroom, it has hip hop, it has heart.
Yeah.
And this storyline is incredible.
Yes.
Just bringing dance into the public schools in general, I think is huge. Anytime we
Yeah.
can bring dance or movement, the arts back into schools, that's a huge moment for all of us across the United States. And
Yeah.
my dream is that it happens, that it comes back into school systems and that we can bring the arts back and
Yeah.
dance again together, right?
Yeah, because I feel like dance not only is like it's like culturally in all of our DNAs, and like back way back, in the day, like our cultures and like especially being Latin, we were seen through our music and our dance, and we were able to it's spiritual. So I
Yeah,
think
it is spiritual.
cutting out the arts is something that's not very, it's not good for, I feel like, humanity.
No,
Like
I mean
it's how we
it's really
connect with each other, it's how we relate to each other, it's how we stay like grounded and we're able to release. And so I think it's really sad that it's not in school. It needs to be.
But we're going to change that, Stephanie. I think this show can be one of those catalysts that can change that and maybe turn this around and give a little shining spotlight to how dance in public schools could be an amazing moment and an
Yeah.
opportunity to learn and grow. I mean, dance teaches us so many life lessons, how to be efficient, how to be articulating, how to be on time, how to, like you said, be a good leader and a good follower. Both of those things are very important for us in our humanity.
I agree.
How we grow and become better human beings on this planet and become a community. Stephanie, I'm so excited for you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you said April 6th. is the premiere at
A Paper Mill Playhouse.
Paper Mill Playhouse. So you can get that papermill.org, and the show is called Take the Lead.
Yes. If any of the people watching the podcast are fans of the Cheetah Girl, Adrienne Valone, the Latina Cheetah Girl, she's starring in it. So if the premise of the show isn't excite you, just at least go for to watch her sing, because she is phenomenal, and I've looked up to her because she was one of the first Latinas I saw on TV and film, and she was a lot of the reason why I was like, oh my gosh, I can do this as a career, like seeing someone like me represented. So
yeah,
she's beautiful, she's amazing. The rest of the cast
amazing,
phenomenal. So
you're right, Stephanie. This cast is filled with stars.
Yeah.
I mean, head to toe. And what a lucky opportunity you get to be surrounded by stars. Gosh, it's like a constellation on stage.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful too, because I feel like every person in the show is like represented very beautifully. Like you can, I swear, if you go watch, you're going to relate to at least one character in the show, because it has so much heart and there's so many different storylines happening. And I'm just excited for the reaction, or like, you know, what if people are going to, I'm just excited for people to see it and feel what I feel when I'm on the side watching some of the other numbers go, and actors and singers. I get chills all the time.
Stephanie, there's no place I'd rather be is the dance floor. And especially with musicals, I just love seeing the production, you know, the creation of it. I'm in the process of choreographing You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown for a high school. Wow. And they're about to go up on stage, you know, and do their show in a couple weeks as well. So I feel that excitement from you. And I know everybody's going to enjoy you. And like you said, this amazing cast. What an incredible opportunity. So if you're listening, get your tickets, papermill.org, Take the Lead. And this is in New Jersey, correct?
Yes, New Jersey.
Stephanie, thank you so much for sharing your story and your advice for the next generation with us. Please come back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm your host, Anna Harsh. And until next time, keep moving on the dance floor.